Welcome to the tour of John's Mini Golf 2019. John's Mini Golf has been going on for 9 years, started in 2010 when I was 9 years old. I'm 18 now, and this is unfortunately the last year of John's Mini Golf as I'm pursuing my other business full time. So won't have that much time to upkeep the mini golf, but hopefully in the future I would like to open up a real mini golf course in Medford Lakes, but that won't be for a long time. But we start off at the desk here with all the balls like usual. We have the clubs, some of the signs, and we have the comment box and the business cards, the pamphlet. And this is new, so this year I made an actual lockbox for the money. I usually have like a jar people would open and put it in. So I made this box entirely by myself, and it's working really nice. It's all solid, it's screwed in here, and you have to use the key and the lock and it opens up, and it's really nice. So here we start on the holes. This year there were 20 holes. Around 3 less than last year, I'm sure. I just added some more bigger holes instead of adding a bunch of small ones. Here's number 1, the same as it's been for the last 9 years. Just very simple, just some rocks. Here's number 2, which I like number 2 a lot. I had a lot of ideas for this hole, and I kept on messing with the designs of the bricks. Like I had them curving out, coming back in, but I just decided to make them straight. So you go off this little ramp here, come up and go through this tire, and the hole. I also experimented with the tire not going through it, but like it being flat, and the hole being in the middle of the tire, and you have to hit it over like these ridges here. But I ended up just going like this. And everything in this course is completely solid. So all these wood you see, it's all screwed in, and it has stakes in, so if you kick it, it's not going to move at all. Here's number 3, which is the same as last year and maybe the year before too. I just kept it here. Kind of a little boardwalk theme. You go up here, and then you go down this, all these nails. And you want to get right in the center right there, have the ball go down. A lot of the course this year I did paint, so there was a lot of painted holes. I wanted to bring the course to be more vibrant and colorful, just more fun. So I painted a lot of the wood this year. Oh, there's also this, I put some signs up this year too. So yeah, there's a few of those around the course, which I'll show those off. Here's number 4. This one's really fun too. A lot of people like this. Hit off this huge ramp, and then you go up here. You want to get in that middle hole. Of course, you can hit it way harder and just go all the way down. And if you get in the middle hole, it's going to go through this pipe and go down the monorail system, which I like to call it, and down to the hole. Number 5, this one I made this last year, but I just painted a few of the things this year. This one did take a long time to make. This is actually a pallet in the middle here. So you start on the green, you hit it up this pallet, and if you don't hit it hard enough, it's gonna fall in these cracks, and the ball rolls back down and then goes down into this little section, and you have to restart. So up here, there's 5 holes you can go into. I really like all the character of like all the ball marks on the wood. I think that's really cool. I've shown a lot of people how to play at this hole. So you want to get in that middle hole, and that just drops you into that. Then if you do go down those 2 other ones, kind of folds down that, and there's also more nails on this side, falls down. Now we're going to hole number 6. This one's really cool. This is a big part of a tree. And then this one's all made from tree. So you hit it off this little hole right there, and you're trying to get it in between that little section so that it falls through on the other end into the hole. Here's number 7. This one did change. So the last maybe 3 years or 4 years, I had this big like kind of U-shaped like incline ramp, but that was a lot of maintenance because it was mostly just sand, and a lot of stuff would have rode away, and it didn't really work the way I thought it was going to. So I took that out and I put in. I was actually really experimenting with this too. Like, I was thinking of how can I use this space to make an interesting hole, and I had a lot of different ideas, and I just ended up going with this. So you start over here and you want to bank it off this wood, and then you want to bank it off into that hole, and then go down that into the hole. And this wood over here I did paint too, just to make it look a lot nicer than just a regular looking wood. Hole number 8, now it gets pretty interesting. So hole number 8 and number 12, which we'll get to later, as you can tell, these are like the most painted holes in the entire course. So these are actually, I specially made these for the Medford Lakes NITA school class of 2019, 8th graders, and they have a party every year for the graduating class, and they wanted me to make some mini golf holes for the party. So I made 3 of them. 2 of them I incorporated into the course because the 3rd one had a lot of issues, and so that one would have been a lot of maintenance. But this one is like a boardwalk because the theme of the party was like the ocean. So you hit it down and it kind of bounces all around, and the hole's right in the middle right there. Surprisingly, it's actually kind of really hard to get a hole in one on this one. I really never get it. And this one actually did take a long time. It looks fairly simple, but these things take a long time, especially the painting, with a lot of work. So hole number 9, this one has been the same for maybe 2-3 years. And it's this one's, you start up there, and this is on a hill on the property, so you can hit up this big rock, or you can go to the hole in one way, which is down this little bridge I made. And then going into the hole down there. And I made these steps a few years ago too, just if people can't like walk down the hill. Here's number 10. This one is very simple. I was considering taking this one out this year because it's the same thing as last year, but I ended up just keeping it the same. A lot of the holes I ended up just keeping the same this year, except a few of them because like as time goes on, I make my holes a lot more advanced, so they take a much longer time to make. So you start there, and you want to get into that red like cement pipe there. Number 11, this one's really cool. This one I also painted this year. So you go up this humongous ramp, and then you want to get in the center part of these 3 like ways they can go, and then it goes down this, and then this pipe around this tree, which I thought was kind of cool. I mean, I could just make it go straight to the hole, but going around the tree is a lot more fun. And then there's the hole right there, and this is another one of these signs. So now we're going to number 12. And this is the other one I made for that dance. This one took a long time as well, probably the longest one. This one's really cool. You hit it up and it goes down all these pieces of wood. Trying to get into the hole right in the middle there. This one has a bunch of ball marks. It's really cool seeing all the character. And here's 13. And I have dual-sided signs so that, because this one you can't really see from the angle, so people can't be getting lost which hole is next. This one I think I've kept here for 5 years around. There's no reason to get rid of it. It's really simple, but it's also one of my most favorite holes I've made, and the leaf just fell into it. So it's just pavers and this curvy pattern, and you hit the ball from over here, and like it just kind of bounces around in there and like goes up. It's really fun to hit the ball in there. Now we can take a quick detour into the gift shop. Number 14 over here is next, but we can just check it out in here. So here's the gift shop. I need to put some more stuff in here. It is like around the end of the year. I think it's it's around the end of August. So I still have some wristbands left. Not too many color options anymore because I sold out of all of them. This is the last year, so I'm not going to be buying anymore. I ran out of regular golf balls, so I need to put some more in there. And these are the classic half-cut golf balls. This is new this year. I put a little candy area in here of M&Ms. And here's all the memorabilia from all the years past. This is really cool. These are like made every single year. All these signs. And just some other stuff like this. Those used to be road signs maybe like 6, 7, 5 years ago, around those time. And yeah, it's sad to see everything go, but it was thousands of people came and enjoyed this place, and it's really cool. And here's just some things that people can read. That's the same pamphlet that was in the front desk. And this is like a history of John's Mini Golf. If you want to read it, you can pause it and check that out. And here's a few pictures. I was planning on putting a bunch of pictures that people post on Facebook of like people playing at the course. I was going to develop them and put them all over the wall. But I never really kind of forgot about that, and then it's already the end of the year, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing that. So here's 14. This one has stayed the same, I think, last 2 years. You hit up this big green, and then it goes down these natural logs, and then go through these other natural logs and goes into the hole. 15, this one is new this year. This one took a long time to build. Before there was a hole here and like a hole up there, so I just made it one big hole instead of having 2 holes. And it does look fairly simple, but it wasn't, I guess, this hole that took a long time to build. It was just the amount of ideas I kept on going through, and I kept on making entire holes, and I didn't like them. So this one took me a long time to build. But I like the way it came out, and how I used these bricks, stacking all the way up. But yeah, fairly simple, but it is pretty cool. Here's another one of those signs. Number 16. This one will stay the same. I did paint this one too. Go through that pipe. And then you go through this big piece here, and then the holes on the other side. Now here is the pond hole, 17. And this one has I put a bunch of plants in here this year. There was a bunch more flowers, but that was in the springtime. But yeah, this one, I think I've kept this pond here for maybe the last 7 years. I've had the pond, or maybe 6 years. But I'm pretty sure last year is when I made the pond bigger. Like you see, like half the size of this. But yeah, there's 3 tubes as always. The front tube goes this way, that tube goes this way, and this tube goes through this natural log, which has been sitting here ever since the pond hole has been here. So this natural log that I found in the woods that holds the balls perfectly it's been deteriorating a little bit over the years because it's been here for a long time. But it's really cool. There's like moss growing in it and that growing in it now and stuff. So yeah, here's the pond, and there is fish in there, but the water's kind of dark, so it's hard to see them. But the kids always love seeing the fish. And so now we're going to go over to these last 3, which are a lot of people like just. A lot of the kids just like playing these ones and nothing else really. So here's 18. Windmill hole from my Canoe Carnival float in 2017. This one is actually, in my opinion, this is the hardest one to get the hole-in-one on. Now if you go through the windmill here, goes through that pipe and drops you into the hole. So here's the clock one, which has been here for I think 4 years, but it has changed locations. I had to move it a few times. So here's 19. Start right there, and you go up here. Again, the character on this wood shows all the people who have played, and I mean the kids can move around the hands and stuff. And here's the keg, which, if you get the joke, the clock, usually I have the clock at 1 o'clock. So it's so when the ball hits the keg, it's like striking 1 o'clock on the clock. So something about the keg I also really like is definitely the character on the keg is actually my favorite character in the entire course. Thousands and thousands of balls have hit off that keg, and it's just really, really cool. You see all the ball marks on that. So pretty much what happens here is the ball hits the keg, drops down, and then goes into this pipe, brings it around, and it goes into this, bounces in those rocks and goes in the bottom. So here is the last hole, number 20. Had this for maybe 3 years. This year I had to fix a lot of it because the weather got to it and it messed it all up in the winter. Here's a big John's Mini Golf sign. So you hit it up there, going up, again with that character, all along the wood. And then it comes down, you can go all these different options, and into the hole in the middle. Now this over here is new this year. I think I had it briefly last year at the very end, but this is the build your own hole. And so many people love this. There's always like a whole creation. Whenever kids play, they always like do the entire course, and then they just sit here and they build their own holes, which is, I really like to include this because it really brings out the creative aspect of the entire course. So over here is a really cool part of the entire course. This is the I Played at John's Mini Golf signing area, and this thing is filled with names this year. So many names, there was not even any room on here. People are writing on this little piece of wood. There were people right up here. There's some writing underneath this. I just realized there's writing down here now. That wasn't there recently. It's really cool looking at this and just reading all these names of hundreds of people who came and played. So that is an overview of John's Mini Golf 2019. The course has been really great this year. So many people come and play. Everyone loves John's Mini Golf from Medford Lakes. So that's it for me. This is today's August 29th, 2019. And this was the overview of John's Mini Golf.